Well, welcome back to a celebration episode of the Ball Guy and the Fat Boy podcast. Since we talked last, some big things have happened, but we'll get into that in just a minute. How's the Fat Boy doing today?
Well, some good, some bad, but we won't get into that. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. So, something very important happened last week after we recorded our episode. For the first time in history, we have world champions in the Metroplex and baseball in Texas.
Go Rangers, baby. I mean, the idea that this team, the Texas Rangers, are world champions. I mean, 11-0 on the road, pitching and hitting, clutch hitting. Just, I mean, crowd of 400,000 at the parade. I mean, just all the bells and whistles that go with the World Championship. The Rangers earned it, and they got it.
It was an amazing run. 11-0 on the road is crazy.
Crazy. It broke the record, but not really, because the old record was based off the old playoff system. So, half a dozen of one, six of the other. That's all right.
I don't think anybody will match what they did.
No,
as long as the system stays like this.
A different way. The Rangers didn't break the old record; they set a new record.
Yeah, but it was awesome, man. When they got in to Game 7, or wasn't it Game 7? Game 5. There's no way to look at that and think their pitcher. What was his name? I'm trying to remember his name.
Baldy?
No, the other
one. Their pitcher. I can't remember.
Anyway, goes into the 7th inning with a no-hitter. Everybody's talking about he goes into the 7th inning with a no-hitter. He is completely shut everybody down, and he takes the L for that game. He is out of there. He gives up 1 run in that inning, and then it falls apart in their bullpen. The bats get hot from Texas, and the rest is history. What you got over there? What's so interesting?
My dog looks like he's pointing on a scorpion. Y'all, you get scorpions?
No, I don't get scorpions.
Well, I just want to make sure I ain't got one. Lay down, you're bugging me.
I'll know if you do soon enough. If it gets over there and gets on the Fat Boy while we're recording.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. You'll see some dancing you ain't never thought you'd see.
No, as soon as it's over, I get a phone call from the Fat Boy. Hey, are we going to the parade? Can we go to the parade?
Yeah, it worked out good. It worked out real good that we didn't, because on the day of the parade, I got a job.
That's what I'm talking about. And the rest of us had a job to go to, so we couldn't go to the parade.
Yes, but I sure wanted to go.
Yeah. Next year, if they go to the World Series, we should take a podcast trip to the World Series if they go back.
As long as you buy the tickets, I'm good.
Now, how come you got to put all that on me?
Because I ain't got no money, son.
Just got a job.
Well, okay. We'll talk about next year then.
I mean, okay, come on now.
How much of tickets were going for?
Yeah, I know exactly how much they were going for. And for the price of 2, I bought a brand new TV and watched the whole series.
Exactly.
And we won. If I'd have went, that may not have happened.
Yeah, but just I look back at the smaller version and the younger version of myself in my fandom of the Texas Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And I always dreamed at this day that the fact that we would win the World Series would come true. But I don't know if I ever really believed it until I saw it. And I know that's a little corny, but I can't help it. Because, like I said, I've been invested in this team ultimately since I was a Ute. And I'm a long way from being a Ute.
No, that was a big time game. That was a big series. And I mean, our offense really showed up. That's
the fact. I'm just glad that in the state of Texas, the armpit is not the only one with a world championship anymore.
That is a nice fact. I'll give you that.
Yes.
I know you have an affinity for the Astros and their fans, but
well, I found a way. I found out a way for them to quantify the first World Series they won. If the Ranger fan, not a Ranger fan, if an Astros fan would just build a big old asterisk on a pole and just raise it up there and put it beside that first championship, then I'll get off of them a little bit. But until they do that, because the second championship I believe is legitimate. That first one they cheated and they got caught cheating.
Hey, everybody else in Major League Baseball had the opportunity to beat on a trash can in their home field too, but they didn't do it.
I can't believe you said that out loud.
But they did. I mean, everybody had it. That's just like every other quarterback had the chance to deflate balls, and Tom Brady was the only one having it done.
Okay, whatever. We're never gonna agree on that. So let's just move on.
I mean, sometimes if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, I know the saying, and I used to believe that until I saw the Astros mess baseball up.
That's a little far. That's a little far to say they messed baseball
Whatever.
up.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So that's not the only thing that happened. We had a pretty big game for the Cowboys this week too. Go ahead and switch hats on us over there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Cowboys came out. I think they looked pretty good, even though they fell a little short. What was your thoughts as you were watching the game?
Have we changed our guidelines on this particular podcast? Can I cuss any yet?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to say this is PG as I possibly can. The Cowboys, once again, just like San Francisco, took another fresh crap right on the field in Philly.
That was nowhere near the San Francisco game.
And just like the front of the San Francisco game, we got the front of the Philly game, and that is one non-playing, running out of bounds, getting sacked, Dak Prescott. You cannot take that sack. You cannot throw that ball. I know it's partly the tight end's fault, but just go to the ones that you've been throwing to all game instead of Schoonmaker, so he don't mess that up. So I blame half of that on Dak. I blame running out of bounds on Dak, and whatever else I can find. If I can figure out a way to blame JFK on Dak, I'll do that too, because everything stops and ends with the quarterback of the NFL, and our quarterback is lackluster.
You're just a Dak hater. I mean,
I don't
understand.
I'm a Dak supporter when there's something to support.
You don't think he played good during that game?
Just because you play a B plus game for 3/4 of the game, in the last quarter of the game you play a D minus game, it's still a failing game.
Look, he was running for his life on the right hand side of that line. Terrence still hasn't blocked anybody. Okay.
Here, you know what this is, don't you?
What is that?
That's the world's smallest violin. I want to hear it. Excuses are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. And Dak has come up. Dak is becoming the new Romo.
Okay.
Romo didn't win a thing. We don't measure success here by fantasy stats.
We've had to in the last 20-something years.
Don't lie. It's Super Bowl or bust, and we're busting.
You don't think we're going to the Super Bowl this year?
I wouldn't bet on that right now if I had a crystal ball.
If we go to the Super Bowl, you have to buy tickets.
If we go to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna run around my house on YouTube Live naked.
Hey, we don't need to get you an OnlyFans account, okay?
Well, I'm just saying.
I hear you talking, but don't tell me that you don't think Dak played a good game.
I don't think
because we lost. Whatever you want to say, Dak played a good game.
Read my lips. Dak played good for most of the game, but in crunch time, he folded like a cheap lawn chair. Charlie,
if Dak hadn't played like he played, we wouldn't even have been in that game.
And what people you're misrepresenting yourself, because you're taking the devil's advocate on this side And if you really believe that Dak should get any kudos for that game at all, it's like getting a participation trophy. Sorry.
Come on,
You
man.
don't make those mistakes.
What mistakes? What was his mistake?
Running out of bounds, taking the sack without getting rid of the ball, whether you ground it or not.
He didn't have to
throwing-
He didn't have to go run out of bounds if he sits over there and we don't false start on the run that goes in.
Throwing the Schoonmaker and not him not being in the end zone. And all these things either are
How
all
is
the way
that on Dak? How is that on Dak? You throw the ball to your tight end headed towards the end zone.
sorry.
You complete the pass. It's
Yeah,
his fault the tight end didn't get in.
Because in the huddle, the quarterback tells everybody to get in the dadgum end zone. I'm sorry.
How do you know? You're not in that. You're not in the huddle.
It stops and ends with the end zone. I mean, with the
With
quarterback.
the end zone, I agree. It does. It stops and ends with the end zone.
Well, that makes sense. That wasn't what I'm saying. It stops and ends with the quarterback. And the quarterback dropped the ball, literally.
Yeah, but you hated on him last week whenever he went out there and dominated. You still don't give Dak
remember,
you want to give him all of the blame and none of the credit.
No. I was on the sidewalk of the train station last week. So this week I'm back at my house.
You gonna trip out there and fall in front of that train one day.
Well, whatever.
Okay. All right. That's all the Dak hate I can handle for right now.
So you wanted me to be ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. You're something. So what about the Dallas Mavericks? There we go.
Dallas Mavericks. I am impressed with Lively, our draft pick. How
could you not be impressed?
He is so good at such a young age. He's getting good coaching by kids. He's listening to Kyrie and Dirk. Oh, Dirk. Wow. Luka.
Yeah. Hey, maybe Dirk's talking to him.
Yeah, I hope so. Luka and Kyrie, the new boy that we picked up from the Celtics, he couldn't miss right now. He is on fire for three.
He's going to be big. Grant Williams.
Yeah, Grant Williams. He has been a real good pickup. This team they've only lost a couple games, and one of them was to the defending world champions. So,
which I mean, you want to talk about a game if that was like a measuring stick.
You see what the Mavericks are.
It made them look kind of bad.
But they got a long way to go. That's something to build off of.
Yeah, and they were down the other night against the Hornets.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that.
15 down and came all the way back and won it.
Yeah. No, I watched when they were down, and then they kind of chipped away and come back. So,
and the Hornets are a good little team.
I wouldn't go that far, but
they're not bottom of the basement, but they're decent. They got some real good players on that team.
Yeah, I mean they could make a little bit of noise, but I think Luka and Kyrie are figuring it out a little better. I do think Lively's good in the pick and roll. He's good. He's a good lob threat down low. He's a good rebounder.
What I like about him is he keeps up on the break.
Yeah.
I was so tired of watching our centers lag behind, not getting there when everybody else is getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you something I've watched too. Kyrie directing everybody in the offense, even when he doesn't have the ball. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but he'll tell guys, hey, get over there, go over here, you go out to the corner. He'll be putting everybody in position.
Even getting them out of Luka's way too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Even when he's off the ball, he'll still be guiding everybody on where they want to go. I watched against the Hornets. He set up Grant Williams for a wide open three, telling him where he needed to be. And as Luka made his move, the defense collapsed. He kicked it right over there to him, and he knocked it down.
And why wouldn't he do that? He's probably got the most playoff experience, the most big game experience of anybody on that team.
He's got a lot of experience. He's a vet, and he understands pretty much the whole concept. And
as far as I can tell, go ahead. I'm sorry.
people don't think about this enough, but I'm pretty sure he saw LeBron do the same thing when LeBron come to Cleveland.
And I'm knocking on wood here when I say this, but as far as I can tell, he's been a model citizen.
Yeah, no, I think he's done everything he needs to do.
Yes, me too. He's earned his money for sure.
Yeah, and he's in Dallas to where the media is not going to be crazy, trying to get him to say something and make a big deal about it and
Well,
cause.
he don't have to say much because technically he even supports this. This is Luca's team.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Y'all take it. I don't want all that. I mean, that's
yeah, go talk to Luca. He's in charge. I just help.
yeah,
Uh,
it's
Luca
pretty
always,
good. It's pretty good.
Luca most of the time does the post game interviews anyway. Kyrie will do it every now and then. For the most part, Luca does all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean they're figuring it out. I think year two it's not even a full year that they got last year, but
Yeah,
I think having the off season together, stuff like that, they're really figuring it out to be better. So that's about as much praise as we can give them, man. That's
yeah. I'm kind of done. Okay, I gotta say something. One of our podcast followers. He's a friend of mine, but he's from New York. He bought me a Stars hat. It's supposed to be sending it through the mail. His name's Kevin Burns. He lives in Syracuse, New York. So I've got a Stars hat on the way. But this will be my last hockey intern report without a Stars hat on. So, but here we go.
okay. I still like them glasses. You look smart. Give it to us.
All right, here we go. Last week, the Stars win against the Calgary Flames at the Scotiabank Saddledome. I got Scotiabank right. And then head over to the Rogers Place in Edmonton against the Oilers and slip away with a 4-3 win, taking Dallas to a victory. However, Dallas goes to Vancouver on Saturday night, and the Canucks take advantage of a fatigued Stars team, beating in a 2-0 frustrating game. Dallas brings a home record of 2-1, facing a very tough Boston Bruins team on Monday night, where they again let a game slip away, 3-2 loss. The Stars' next three games are on the road and will be a test of endurance and overall desire to win. Go Stars. That's from the hockey intern, Tim Moody.
Right. And we're still not paying him, right?
Intern, that means non-paid.
Okay. All right. He's the best intern we've ever had on the show.
And also the only one.
Yeah, yeah. We appreciate his good work.
Yes, sir, very much. Because if it wasn't for those reports, well, I mean, we would tell you that the Stockies, well, they won a game or they lost a game. That's about all you'd get.
Yeah, that ain't no joke. That ain't no joke.
I can honestly say he watches the games, and that's way ahead of being you. We when we ain't got time. I don't even have the channel to watch the games.
Bally's is a good channel, man. I've got it.
Stupid Bally's.
It helps out with the Mavericks.
I'm not allowed to have Bally's.
Well, it's okay.
I'm just saying. Let's move on.
I mean, they'll get them in there. Okay. All right. So, dang Alabama hat. We broke it out again.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest. I can take that this year way better than I would have been.
I bet you can.
Another year. So it's.
I even put your team beside my team and on the rundown.
So what do you want to tell us about what they're going to do to Kentucky when y'all go play Kentucky?
Oh, they're going to massacre Kentucky.
Okay. I thought you were saying something inappropriate there for just a minute.
No, it's going to be a massacre.
Okay. Okay.
And just like you said, Texas is going to massacre TCU.
I think so. It's going to.
So therefore, but if I don't mention Bama, Kentucky, and Texas, well, Texas maybe no Texas, TCU. Therefore, here that we won't talk about them in the next segment. So that's you kind of understand my motivation. I am going to get Bama talk, just like you might want to get Texas talk in before we start talking about the committee's picks and our picks.
Okay. All right. All right. So we've hit on them a little bit. We gave them a little shine. Neither one of them, I don't believe, have made it into either one of our top fives here.
Okay.
So
you're right.
That's about all the love they get for right now.
Correct. But if I don't do that, then I can't talk about my beloved Alabama or your beloved Texas
Well,
until they do make it into that top 5.
okay, and we all want you to be able to talk about Alabama because we know it makes
It's
you happy.
the reasons I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready to move on to picks?
Yeah. Well, what's your top five?
Oh, I apologize. I jumped the gun on that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
My
Getting ahead
I,
of yourself.
I told you something. Then I went back and had a relapse.
Uh-huh.
Florida State, Ohio State, and Georgia all struggled against their opponents this week. Florida FSU played Pitt, Ohio State played Rutgers, and Georgia played Missouri. Missouri was of those three. Missouri was the only one that played a ranked team in Georgia, or Georgia's the only one that played a ranked team in Missouri. So therefore, I thought about shifting a little bit around, but because all of them struggled, I'm going to leave my top 5 the way it was: FSU, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and the one that looked the best again by far, even though they kind of didn't play really a juggernaut, was still Oregon. Oregon won 63 to something, and it was a massacre. So my top 5 is staying the same, but we got some big matchups this week that could that could mess with that for next week. So we'll go do that. And what was your top 5? Did you have any changes?
No, mine probably won't change till we get to the playoffs. We gotta get to
What if what if Penn State beats Michigan? Oh, let me rephrase that. What happens when Penn State beats Michigan?
okay, so speaking of that, what did the committee come up with on their picks? They move anything around or top five still the same?
Top 5 still the same. I went and checked.
All right. I'm keeping the same top five. There's no reason
And
to mess with it.
so am I. I
So
wanted to, I thought because I mean Florida State, they kind of struggled with Pitt. Whole Ohio State kind of struggled with Rutgers. Georgia, I mean, only beat Missouri by 9. I mean, they didn't even cover the spread. So the only one that won convincingly were the only two that won convincingly in the top 5 were Michigan and Oregon.
well, so we'll have to see what comes up next week. I mean,
As
that's
far as
just
I, as far
it's
as I can
college
tell, that's
football.
really good analysis.
Okay. That probably is really good analysis. But even though they struggled a little bit, good teams have to find a way to win when everything isn't going their way. And that's
Yeah,
what they've been doing.
but you're telling me if Georgia blows out Missouri, they don't change something. It has to change something. That's
No,
what
it
the
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
well, it does to me. It doesn't have to you. I mean, you do you, I'll do me. When
Okay.
if Georgia blows out Missouri, I might move Georgia up in that case. I'm just giving the fans something to chew on.
You would want to. You'd be sitting there and you go, hey, look, I think Georgia's the better team. And then all of a sudden that Crimson Tide blood would start running over there. And you'd be like, they're probably not going to be number one. We still got to keep them bumped down a little bit.
My Crimson Tide blood's always running.
That's what I'm saying. But you couldn't put Georgia as number one. So no
I
matter
didn't
what
say
happens.
I would. I said I'd move them up.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
I never said a word about number 1.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're number one in the
Okay,
hearts of
let's
our
go
fans.
now.
All right, so on the picks, so we did it a little different this week. We got a few more college games because the pro matchups weren't all that great. There's just a couple decent games on that, nothing we were too concerned about, and there's some good college games going. So the
Real
FATT
good.
gave
We're
us
we're still doing 10 games. We're just doing a few more college games and a couple less
and
NFL
what
games.
did you do last week? You went 6-4.
6-4. That's
Six.
another winning week in a row. I
That's
started off in a doghouse, but since then I've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think he feels like you do better on college football, so that's why you wanted to pick more college games this week. So
Well, if that's true, it's true, but that wasn't my
I think you're
ulterior motive.
skewing it a little bit, but that's okay. That's all right. This is your week to see what happens. All
All
right,
right.
so we'll run through these pretty quick. Um,
Okay.
your Alabama Crimson Tide -10.5 at Kentucky.
Bama big.
Bama big, he says. All right, Michigan -4.5 at Penn State.
Upset of the week, Penn State.
Penn State. I got that one. Okay. Miami at Florida State. Florida State minus 14.5.
Miami to cover.
That's a smart pick. That's a smart pick. All right. Utah at Washington minus 9.5.
Washington big.
Washington big, he says. All right. Tennessee minus 1 at Missouri.
I'll call this a pick 'em game,
Yep.
and I'm gonna say Missouri, but I'm gonna say Missouri in a close one. And I won't be a bit surprised if Tennessee wins that game.
Yeah, I think that'll be a close game. That's why it's a 1 point spread. But
Yeah, I agree.
okay. Ole Miss at Georgia minus 10.5.
Ole Miss, not to win, but to beat the spread.
Might as well pick them to win, man. They're right there. All right, and then Texas minus 10 at TCU.
TCU, same reason.
You don't think 10 points?
You may destroy that, but I don't want you to have to pick TCU. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I really
nice
do
when
it
you
for
want
you,
to be. You're nice.
but I really like the TCU to lose as well.
Okay.
I mean, Texas to lose as well. Excuse me, I said that wrong.
Yeah, no, I know you would. All right, so for the NFL games, we did the Browns at the Ravens. Ravens are minus 6.
I think that this game's closer than that. The Ravens are on a tear,
Yep.
but they're fitting to run into a real defense. I think this is a closer game than the -6, but I'm still going to take the Ravens.
You're still going to take the Ravens. All right.
But I think this is also a rivalry game. Do you know? Can you answer why this is a rivalry game?
Yes, I can.
Well, you have a podcast.
Because the Ravens used to be the Browns. So they stole their franchise out of there, and then they brought it.
You would be surprised how many people don't really know that.
Yeah, but that's because we're old and we saw it happen. Is the reason we know that more than younger sports.
If it's a fact, it's a fact.
So okay, all right. 49ers -3 at the Jags. The upstart Jags. They're playing good ball. You've been picking them in a lot of these games.
I want to take the Jags.
You want to take the Jags?
I'm not sure they'll win, but I want them to win.
I think that's probably a pretty good pick.
I guess I want to keep giving validity to your 49ers conspiracy theory, but I think Philadelphia ended that by winning that game.
I don't know. We'll see.
It was just so.
All right, so the Lions -2.5 at the Chargers.
This was a hard game. Did you watch any of the Jets Chargers game Monday night?
No, I didn't get to.
Well, let me tell you something. I know the Jets suck, but that defense for the Chargers does not.
I know.
That Chargers defense is solid.
I remember the Cowboys chewed them up. Yeah.
Boy, that line though is so tiny.
2.5, but it's at
LA. It's at Los Angeles. So therefore, believe it or not, I'm going to take the Chargers.
You're going to take the Chargers. Hey, I think it's the first time you picked all home field in the NFL. I could be wrong.
Well, you probably are, but that doesn't matter. I just, like I've always said, I go with my gut. But there are some really intriguing matchups in college football. In the few NFL games I picked are about the best games going in the NFL this week. There are some other games that might be good, but I can't really tell because of records and also matchups.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty good. I mean, we'll see if you can continue your hot streak. You come back down to earth a little bit. You had the good week the week before. You're
8-2 to
500 this week.
But like who is it? Like Texas always says, a win is a win.
A win is a win. That's right. That's right. So you got parting thoughts for the people out there?
No, I'm just for whoever's watching and whoever's listening. I'm grateful to all of y'all, and just keep on and tell all your friends about us because we want to keep doing this and we want to keep building.
Yeah, we really do appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, comment. Uh, Let us know if y'all want us to add anything to it. If there's anything you really hate, you want us to take away. I mean,
We are going to have to change our schedule a little bit. Like I said, I did get a job, so we're going to have. It's going to force us to have to do this on a different day. There ain't not a lot I can do about that.
nah, it ain't no big deal. I think that'll be fine. We'll probably end up actually cutting it on a weekend. So we may be able to get it out after, Sunday football or something like that. We're still working on the details, but like I said, we'll get it out to y'all. And like I said, we really appreciate it. Guys, we'll see y'all next week. Spread the word about us, and there you go. He said it, not me.